and welcome. In today's wood turning video, I'm going to try something quite different for me. Up to now, I have been making small wooden bowls on my new wood turning lathe and absolutely loving it. But inspired by another young wood turner who has a YouTube channel, Design and Make, I will link to his channel in the description below if anyone else would like to go and take a look at his work. I have been inspired by him to attempt to turn this willow tree branch log into a Christmas tree ornament, as in a Christmas ornament that looks like a little Christmas tree. So wish me luck and we'll see how we get on. Now the willow tree this branch came from died a couple of years ago, so this log is nice and dry. But as you see at the moment, we're cut at an angle here and not very tidy there. So my first task is going to be to take the handsaw and level these up so that it'll fit better onto my lathe. Let's see how we get on. Oh, before we move on, those of you that have watched my first few videos will see that I have moved location yet again. So hopefully I'll make a little short video about my move and why I moved for anyone that's interested to find out what's going on. So let's turn this branch into a Christmas tree. Here's hoping. So in true cat's mother style, I have a most unorthodox method of working my DIY projects. This angle is not going to be good fitting onto the lathe, so I want to make the end of this log nice and flat, or relatively flat at least. So with a standard household chair and my foot, we shall saw it flat. So there we have a lovely flat level end to attach to the lathe with. Now this other end's not too bad. Yes, I'm just going to take a slither off the end of here as well and help square that up slightly. Now, I'm looking at my log. I see I have a slight bow happening this way. It's only just slight here. So I don't know, do I want to cut that out? Not sure. It'll make my piece quite short. I'd like to have a bit more at the ends as waste wood when I finish my cut. I'll leave it for now. We'll see. There-ish. Hopefully I've got you at a good camera angle and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Now, differently for me today, rather than attaching my faceplate to the lathe, I'm going to be using this pointy piece. And I don't know what this spiky pointy bit is called. There's a surprise. I will find out and type it on the screen for you and me, and then I can learn what its name is. Now, quite often, before I screw this on, I've seen wood turners will take the spiky bit, place it in their piece of work and hammer that in place. I'm not going to do that because this is a small piece of wood and I'm simply going to use the screw pressure from my tailstock to push it into these spikes. I've also learnt you do not ever want to be hammering your piece of wood onto here. It's not good for the thread on your screw attachment of the lathe. So let's tighten that up nice and secure using the spanners provided. There we go. Put those out of the way. Where am I going to put them? Just there for now. So let's see if we can get this piece of log relatively centre. I did actually draw some lines on this end. I'm not happy with them. They were just eyeballed and they don't really look centre-y at all. Let's see if I can find a centre, because I didn't like my lines. Ooh, I need to go that way a bit then. So I'm running my compass round to see if it's touching the edge of the wood all the way round. That's actually not a bad position there. So I'm going to spike that in. So there's my centre bit. There's my centre point. A bit different to my rough lines I started with. I'm not going to centre point this end because there is a slight curve bow in my piece of wood. So I'll manoeuvre that around on the lathe to see how close we can get. So there's my centre there. And there's the bow in the wood. So bring the tailstock up and bring this in. That's miles away. So let's bring that in a bit closer. There's definitely a bit of a bow in my piece of log, so I'm not sure. I'm going to try it there. See how we get on. Lock my tailstock in place and screw this in tighter. And there's a nut here, which is tight. Got it there. So this nut should lock things in, so this can't go backwards. Not sure it works very well.
Slowly turning things by hand just to make sure nothing's catching or rubbing.
Okay, I think we're ready to start. Let's clear my bits out of the way. Right, so ear defenders on, face mask, etc. Am I actually plugged in? No. Now to plug the lathe in. There we go. Start very slowly. And put my gloves on as well so I can catch it if it comes flying off. I'm sure gloves are not necessary or the safest thing to be wearing on a fast spinning bit of wood, but I think, as I've said in a previous video, it makes me feel safe.
So I'm going to bring this tool rest close, but not actually catching or rubbing the wood.
Okay, and spin. There's my chisels. So I've got the bowl gouge, my skew chisel, which is basically a flat blade at an angle, slightly askew, and my round carbide tip. I don't think I'm going to need the round carbide today, but maybe. Bring this here. I'm going to start with my bowl gouge to take off this bark. Okay, here goes. Wish me luck. I think I might need it. Although I've changed workstations and I have a tabletop now, I'm still not screwed down. I'm still on my bit of rug because it gives me a bit of soundproofing. Ooh, how are we looking anyway with that early start? Oh, not bad. Not even touching the bark here, but digging into the wood nicely there. So I've got a lot of this to cut away before I get into there. Right, back to work.
Let's see if I can find a little background music while I try and make this tree into a tree.
Right, let's put me back. This off-balance piece of wood is vibrating me. I think take some of this off just to help balance up the piece of wood so it's not vibrating quite so violently on my table. If I were to screw it down, it wouldn't be vibrating at all. Or maybe I would. I just have the whole table bouncing. It's cutting nicely. I'm very pleased with that. That's seriously reduced the vibration. Excellent. Maybe I should make that the bottom of my tree. Turn it round, do it the other way. It's a nice fat piece here. I don't know now. I don't know whether to do my tree from here that way, or from here that way. I'll turn my piece of wood round. There's a thought. I want to make that the bottom of my tree. I'm not entirely sure why. It seems a fatter piece than this end's narrower. So I'm going to turn it round. Maybe now I've got a big dent in the bottom, it won't stick on the point. We'll see. And because I've already got those centre holes, I should hopefully be able to line it up quite well. Hopefully. There. If it wobbles too much, then I'll have to turn it around again. Let's see what it does. Slow to start with. Seems okay, those spikes are holding it. I'm going to screw that up tighter. Right, so I've flipped my piece of wood round because I like this end. I'm not at all sure why I prefer it. Everything feels a little bit more vibratory again. So maybe flipping it round was a bad idea. But it's done now, so let's go with it. Make sure this is good and strong. Yeah.
Now back to the music.
Like if I use my skew chisel. Looking a bit fluffy here. Maybe my chisel needs sharpening, or perhaps it's because I've turned the wood around. I'm not sure. Notice this nut moving. Let's tighten things up a little. Carve away some of, I want to take away some of this wood here. So that's the base of my tree, the trunk of my tree, very bottom branch. Then I'll start pointing up. I think I might point up with my skew chisel. So let's work on this bit a little. I've just noticed I'm slowly moving up the table. So I'm going to slide us back again. Hey! Up there. my biggest problem is pushing that way. All this sawdust. Woohoo! Out of the way. Put you on the floor. There. Makes wonderful compost, all this lovely sawdust. Added to all the kitchen scraps. I'm looking a little fluffy, but I think that will sandpaper up for me. Exciting! Looking good! Run a little bit of sandpaper over this before I do my next bit. Oh yes, that's looking nice. Okay, let's see. Next stage. Put some branches on this pointy tree. Where? I'm not sure. Choose a width. Less. I think I'd like to do is adjust my tool rest so I'm following the line of the tree. I don't need to move that, I'll move this there. Make sure I'm not rubbing anywhere. Nope. Okay, I'm using the width of my skew chisel to gauge roughly how wide the spacings are between the gaps I'm making in my tree branches. Not sure how much you can actually see, so I'm going to just swivel the whole leg round because I'm not screwed down. So let's see if I can work with it at that angle. I want to make these gouges a bit deeper and point up the end of my tree as much as I can. So let's do my gouges a bit deeper while the tool rest is in that position. Ooh, shiny tree. Can I get it any pointier without it snapping? If it snaps, still held on here. I don't want the trunk to snap though. Let's see. Skew chisel. Put this in position. Put this here. I'm going to try and make that point pointier. Something moved weird. I think I might have snapped up that end. Not quite, nearly. Okay, I'm going to use a saw and cut the base off. Where? Let's make a line.
At this point, I was only intending to make a line in the wood, a nice clear mark to rest my saw against while I cut this free from the lathe. But I just kept going. The more wood I chisel away, the less that will be left for my saw to cut through. As you will shortly see, I chiselled just a little bit too far.
Well, I was going to saw that end bit off, but it seems I won't have to. It's snapped. It's still quite well attached though. It cracked a little bit. So now I need to saw that fluffy bit off and saw the point off my tree. Can you see I'm too high? So I need to saw that fluffy bit off. I got too keen. I was just going to saw through it all anyway. And saw this knobbing off the top. Yeah, it's looking good. Let's go tidy this up. I think the coping saw for that one. Where are we? See if we can tidy up this end. Bit of sandpaper on there. Where's my sandpaper? Hiding it. And cut the pointy bit off. Yay! Now to sand that up, make it all sort of pointy roundy something. I made a tree! Yay! Can you see it? I don't know. What's the camera frame like? Let's bring you into shot. Yay! I made a little Christmas tree. Oh, lovely! Little sanding around the bottom here. I'm finishing up. Nice! Well, thank you for joining me today. And here's my finished little tree, looking absolutely lovely. I'm really pleased. It's turned out quite well. We've got a little fault in the wood here in the tree's stem, but you really don't notice it. And maybe a bit more sandpapering might smooth it out. It feels really nice. It's all the ripples in the different branch levels. I love it. It's gorgeous. A really nice little ornament. So now to go and make some more. I'm sure they'll make wonderful Christmas gifts. So watch out, friends. You know what you'll be getting. Wooden trees and bowls. So again, thanks for joining me today. And remember, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it. Bye for now. See you next time.
If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.